According to the UN and the McGill University, at the current rate that humanity is using up our natural resources and emitting greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, we have at most a few decades before we cross the climate change threshold, a point of no return, a point of uncertainty. But there is a way that we can help stop this. All throughout our childhoods, we were taught about the three big R's: recycling, reusing, and reducing. And today I'll be talking mostly about recycling and how exactly it can help benefit the environment and even the economy. So here are some statistics. Researchers from the University of California, University of Georgia, and the CE Education Foundation have found that since 1950s, humanity has created a total of 9.8 billion tons of plastic. And that number becomes a lot bigger once you think about how light plastic bags and plastic bottles really are. Now, of that 9.8 billion pounds of plastic produced, only 9% has been recycled and 12% has been incinerated, leaving a total of 79% of that plastic left in the landfills, slowly making its way into the ocean every year, unfortunately killing our beloved turtles and sea animals. Now, the EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency, has found that 1 ounce of plastic emits 1 ounce of carbon dioxide. So 9.8 billion tons of plastic, that's a lot of carbon emitted into the atmosphere in the last 6 decades alone. Now, if we increase the rate of recycling in the US alone from 25% to 35%, the EPA estimates that we could cut and reduce carbon emissions by 11.4 million metric tons. Now, the reason being is that recycling requires a lot less energy than producing new plastic and products from raw natural resources, also helping protect that natural resources, which is already finite enough. Now, here is the economic benefit of recycling. According to the Container Recycling Institute, 36 billion aluminum cans were left in the scrapyard last year. The scrap value for these 36 billion cans was $600 million. There's a lot of money left in the landfills. Now, the Recycling Economic Information Report, written by the EPA, has found that since 2012, recycling activities accounted for 685,000 jobs, $37.8 billion in wages, and $5.5 billion in taxes. Though the recycling industry is a big marketplace and it has a lot of potential to make a lot of money. Now, the reason being for all these jobs is that recycling is a more intensive job than just removing the trash, because you need people to collect it, people to sort it, process it. You also need the logistics side of it and the sales side of it. Now, here are some numbers. According to the EPA, the recycling industry has hired 1.25 million people, as opposed to the solid waste management, which has only employed 0.25 million people. So that's a whole million other people being hired, having a wage, and being able to support themselves and their families. Now, recycling jobs also generally pay a lot more than waste management jobs, just because of the whole total money that they save from recycling and such. Now, the Institute for Local Self-Reliance has stated that, here's an example, that the systematic removal of 10,000 tons of solid waste creates only 6 jobs in the waste management industry, as opposed to the 36 jobs it can create from the recycling industry. So as you can see, there's a big market for recycling, and it can definitely help not only the economy in these trying times and the environment, an uncertain future at that. Now, the good news is that a lot of countries and companies have made a great lengths to help increase the number of recycling and the rate, such as Ball State, where you could go to any dining hall, any residence hall, and you'll just see a bunch of recycle bins for you to throw your recycling in. So the next time you have a plastic bottle, definitely think about recycling it instead of putting it in the waste trash. Thank you.